guys, what's going on? It's Ash here coming at you today in Clash Royale. Today I have my favorite guest of all time, Carter, back on the channel, man. Carter, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm doing pretty well. I said you're my favorite guest of all time, and of course I love you. But now, at this point, it's kind of like a running joke because I realize that I say that everybody is my favorite guest, and people comment every single video saying that. But anyway, happy to have you on, man. You're here sharing this deck that you've been absolutely dominating with. It's definitely a new meta Three Musketeer deck. A lot of people have been asking for this with the Skeleton Barrel and the Prince. Today, we're going to run through the deck. Towards the end of the episode, we're going to share our version with Royal Ghost that you recently got another 12 win with, right up here, here. So we're going to go ahead and do both of those things, and you're going to coach me in a live match and tell me all the things that I do wrong. So, man, I've been blabbing long enough. Want to get into this latest replay here?
Yeah, let's do it.
Cool. I'm going to press play in 3, 2, 1, go. And why don't you talk a little bit about this deck and what benefits does it have to the normal Three Musketeer deck, specifically this how you playing the Skeleton Barrel in the Prince?
Yeah, so Skeleton Barrel and the Prince are both cards that are pretty versatile both defensively and offensively. The Skeleton Barrel, it's mostly an offensive card. Prince is a big-time counter-push card. The Skeleton Barrel, I have the bats and the goblin gang just to bait out zaps and logs for it because it's really difficult to answer if your opponent doesn't have zap and log.
Okay.
And Prince is also super good against Mega Knight, which is one of the biggest counters to Three Musketeers.
What about Dark Prince? Like, what about for ladder, people who run into Elite Barbarians all the time? Would you recommend maybe subbing in Dark Prince so it has a little bit more of a, robust defensive utility? Or do you like Prince in this deck?
I think the Prince is pretty important just because it does a better job of countering tanks, and offensively it's higher DPS.
Okay.
So I would recommend sticking with the Prince.
All right, let's go back to Skeleton Barrel for a second. So we talked about its role in the deck, but let's get into it, like specific scenarios. You're splitting Three Musketeers. Walk us through what happens after that. You're going on an ideal offensive push here. So with the Prince and the Skeleton Barrel, I'm kind of confused. Where am I dropping those and when?
Yeah, a lot of that you just have to kind of feel out like the matchup and stuff, but I always say like I want to have a Skeleton Barrel tanking on one side, and then I can either have the Prince going behind the Skeleton Barrel or on the other side. Usually if I know they have like a spell or a Mega Knight in cycle, then I will just go like Skeleton Barrel Prince with the one Musketeer. And if I know they have, like if they don't have that, then generally I'll try to split up my push more and put like a Prince on one side, Skeleton Barrel on the other. And then it's also good to drop like bats and goblin gang toward the center so that they'll support both sides of your push. And
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. So early game, we're keeping track of their big spell, obviously, because this is a Three Musketeer deck. We're also keeping track of their counters, and we're paying a lot of attention to their little spell. That way we can try to use the bats or the Skeleton Barrel kind of strategically after that spell, that zap or log, is out of rotation. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure. And of course, early game, what you're just trying to do is build up pumps.
Okay, so what about the miner? Just play it as you normally would, like attack it, punishing pumps, or just using it in combination with, surviving defenses on a counter push, or using it with Musketeer on split Musketeer?
Yeah, miner is kind of a situational card in this deck because you use it against pump, use it against princess, and then if they don't have either of those, you just kind of use it if you just need a little bit more chip damage. And a lot of the times I find myself using the miner defensively just as a cheap tank.
Okay. How often in this deck do you use Three Musketeers during the first 2 minutes of the match? Or are those the first 2 minutes very rarely, and oftentimes you just use it to try to establish a elixir advantage with pumps?
I actually would say that I use Three Musks quite a bit in single elixir because, like against certain decks, you can really punish them. But if you don't know what your opponent is playing, then it's probably not a good idea. But like, if I use a pump and they fireball it, and I know they don't have Mega Knight or anything like that, then I will often split Three Musketeers in the back and just make a small push and see how they try to counter it.
Okay. And in double elixir time, this is kind of maybe an obvious question, but in double elixir time, are you normally playing your Three Musketeers in front of your King Tower or behind? And what decides the difference on that decision?
It depends. Like, I play them in the back if I don't feel threatened that my opponent is gonna punish me when I play them in the back, then I'll do that. If they already have troops on the board, or if I think that they're gonna hog ride or something, then I will go with Three Musketeers in the middle somewhere.
Okay. Or if they have like a rocket, maybe. That way you can avoid the tower damage. Or no?
Yeah. I mean, it depends, because if I had like one tower full HP or something, then I could just split the two musk
there.
to that side, and it like the damage wouldn't really matter.
Okay. Makes sense, man. Let's go ahead and why don't you coach me in a live match here?
All right,
Sound
sounds
good?
great.
All right, cool. I'm gonna hop in right now.
Yeah.
And I am in. I'm pretty low in cups, so hopefully, if I don't win, it will be pretty embarrassing. So, I have a pretty good starting hand. Are you in the match, by the way?
Yeah. So.
Okay. So
Yeah.
so it
Always
looks-
start with a pump if you have it. If not, I'd say skeleton barrel is the next best play. Just put that in the back. So, yeah.
So, yeah, I had nothing really.
It
to
looks
play
like
there.
you're gonna have to just let that pump go at this
Yeah.
point, and then, yeah, just like start setting up for the next pump. So I would put this next pump in the back right so that he can't mortar it, and he probably will rocket it. I mean, if you actually, yeah, that's probably pretty good.
I kind of waste. Okay, so he's gonna rocket there. That's all right. So now should I three musk?
I don't think I would, because he has mortar too. So I would just like split Goblin Gang or something.
I don't. Yeah, I don't have the gang, so I'll just minor bats because I really didn't have anything.
Yeah, that's fine too, actually. I got some. Ooh, nice. Gonna get some
Yeah.
good damage there.
All right.
He's probably
so
gonna set up a mortar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you play Three Musketeers at the river here, or play Prince in the back?
I mean, now you don't, because he didn't actually end up mortaring. But if he did, that probably would have been a decent play.
So now I'm just kind of waiting at this point for double elixir time.
Yeah. You can.
I don't have a good mortar counter in hand, so I'm gonna have to play.
I would say split. Yeah, 3 musk here. There we go. Yeah, that should do a pretty good job of dealing with that. And then I would say go pump in the middle.
Okay.
He probably will just rocket it, but that's okay, because then you can't rocket your 3 musk. I would, if you have 3 musketeers, I would split 2 towards the left side, and then get ready with the prince for his next mortar. Okay, here, just go 3 musk high again.
Yeah, I'm gonna have
That's
to zap.
fine. Yeah, go. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, just kind of spam stuff at that mortar.
Yeah. So.
And now I would split the 3 musk 2 to the left.
Yep. Man, this guy's pretty good.
Not too bad.
And he's gonna get me there. I don't know. Maybe I should. Uh oh. What a pro play.
All right, you're gonna have to just defend this with as little elixir as possible and try to get him on. I mean, just split push right here.
Yeah. Man, That was really well played.
All right, if you,
I
yeah,
don't.
Prince,
Was that?
like
Yeah.
right
I
towards
think that was
the
a big
edge.
mistake, huh? I just gave him
Yeah,
the win there.
it was fine to split Three Musk, but you needed to do it higher. Yeah, that's game.
Ah! See, I
So
told you I'd
yeah,
suck. Yeah, man,
I
that was
think
really
the Three
difficult.
Musk weren't bad, but you
Yeah.
needed to have that Prince to tank for the mortar instead of the skeleton barrel at the end there.
Okay.
Definitely a difficult matchup though, because he has like rocket, tornado, mortar,
I'm gonna play
a
another
lot of
one.
counters.
I don't feel good about that.
All right, let's do it.
All right. So here we go. I'm pumping up in the beginning. Man, that really sucked. I just made the really big mistake there on the Three Musketeers at the end. Jesus.
Yeah, and then you let him tornado the Prince and the Three Musketeers all together on that second to last Three Musketeers.
Yeah, maybe we should have watched the replay instead of hopped into another match. But basically, those were my two big mistakes, I assume.
Yeah, those were your two biggest ones, and then I think a couple times you just let the mortar get like one more hit than it should have gotten, or that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like the one time you had to zap the mortar to make it retarget. But there you go. Early
Yeah.
on in the game, already took a tower.
Yeah, that was a little bit easier.
Yeah, the skeleton barrel Prince combo they can take towers like right out the gate. I've
Yeah.
had a lot of games where they start with the Hog Rider and I just play like bats or something, and then they use Zap and I'll just go like Prince Skeleton Barrel and just take a tower right away.
Yeah. All right. Man, that was a dirty loss. I'm embarrassed. But then again, I always lose, so I'm not that embarrassed. I'm going to go all out here.
It wasn't that bad, to be honest. It was a pretty difficult matchup.
You have to say that, Carter.
I don't think he probably doesn't have a fireball or a poison.
Yeah, because, yeah.
So, yeah, feel free to 3 Musk because he's played 7 cards and he doesn't really have a win condition that he's
I'm
played
cheating.
yet.
Carter's helping me cheat.
Oops.
All right, here we go. He's using the witch, though. What do you think about the witch? I think the witch is pretty underwhelming still, even despite all her
Yeah.
buffs.
Yeah, it's pretty dang bad. So here, the Prince is going to be pretty good because it'll help you counter that Giant. And then the Skeleton Barrel Zap combo can take out minions, which is pretty important against, like for example, Giant double minions or, like, the standard 3 Musk Battle Ram deck.
Yeah. I really like this deck. I mean, despite my awful performance in the first match there, I do feel like it's, he's using Bomber too, man. Like, this isn't much to write home about this match, but whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I actually started out, the first time I played it, 0-2 in a GC,
Yeah.
and then, I don't know exactly what I did, but I did something, like, changed the way I was playing, and then I got a 12-2 my first try. So,
Alright.
I definitely think it's a strong deck, but it's not, like,
Yeah, you gotta
super
play it
easy
a
to
little
play.
bit, for sure. Yeah. All right, man.
Yeah.
Let's watch one of your replays here with on this 12 win. Your opponent gave up on the 12th win, so that's why you didn't share it. So it's like a legit 12 win deck.
Yeah.
Let's watch the P.E.K.K.A. control one with the Royal Ghost because I do want to see that variation. So against O Grande Mestre.
Yeah.
All right, ready?
Ready.
3, 2, 1, play. So yeah, man, tell us a little bit about this version. Well, first off, what do you think of the Royal Ghost? He seems incredibly powerful to me.
Yeah, I think he's an absolutely insane card. I would say it was like a bandit pre-nerf, except he's like so much better defensively. Defensively, like he's almost as good as a knight. And then offensively, he can be so hard to stop if you get your opponent out of cycle.
Yeah, he's insane. He's even guards he can two-shot in the right like placement. It's just
Yeah,
he's with that splash.
he has that weird kind of splash damage kind of thing. I definitely think they should remove that as well as like take away some HP or something like that.
He can withstand like a swing from a P.E.K.K.A, not a mini P.E.K.K.A. A P.E.K.K.A takes him to like about half HP. It's crazy. Anyway, tell us
he's
about
absolutely
this deck
insane.
version. What do you think? Like, how do you think about this version compared to the Prince version? Talk about the difference on how we're going to be playing the two of them.
Yeah, so this deck, it cycles a lot faster, and then one of the things that I found with this deck is if they're running like Hog Mega Knight or something like that, where they just have like a bunch of counters to your Three Musketeers, you can actually just play it like a minor Skeleton Barrel Royal Ghost deck, and it works pretty well.
Okay, nice.
Because, yeah, like you can just pump and yeah, just spam with minor.
Carter, I'm comfortable with the Battle Ram version, like the Battle Ram Minion Horde version of Three Musketeers. So, but the basics seem to be the same with every version of these Musketeer decks. In other words, like especially early on, it sounds like we're going to be using our Royal Ghost or our Prince or whatever we're playing with the Skeleton Barrel in the lane of the one Musketeer and kind of let the two Musketeers go and do their thing. Is that pretty much correct?
Usually I would say yes. The one exception to it would be like if you knew they did not have like any good counters whatsoever to the Three Musketeers, but if you're not like 100% sure, usually you just want to go in the one Musk lane, because if you went two Musketeer lane and you didn't think they had Mega Knight and then they just did, then you would just get blown out and you could lose on the spot.
How do you feel? What do you feel the most difficult matchup is for this deck, and how do you deal with it?
The most difficult matchup, I would say
maybe other Three Musketeer decks. I don't know.
No, I would say definitely would be like minor control with Mega Knight or P.E.K.K.A, or maybe not with P.E.K.K.A as much, but with Mega Knight. Just because they can attack your pumps really well, and then like this deck can definitely struggle whenever people have like Ewas and Bats. If they use those correctly, they'll be able to counter your Skeleton Barrel and your Bats and Goblin Gang and stuff. And the Mega Knight, of course, just gonna shut down your two Musketeers the whole game. So then, what I try to do a lot of times when they have Mega Knight is just go like don't play the Three Musketeers at all. But if I'm just playing like minor Skeleton Barrel Royal Ghost, they can do the same thing, except they'll have poison for more chip damage.
Okay. Any other? What about going against another Three Musketeer deck? How do you handle that? Do you play Three Muskies in the same lane, or do you wait for them to make a move and then be reactive? Like, talk about Three Musketeers versus Three Musketeers.
I would say usually I just would pump and then use like Skeleton Barrel Royal Ghost Minor to punish their pumps, as well as try to save the Goblin Gang to block their minors, because usually they'll have a minor. And I don't usually play Three Musketeers unless they play Three Musketeers. And the Skeleton Barrel is also really good against their Three Musketeers.
And where do you play the Skeleton Barrel? Like in the middle of your side of the arena?
Usually I would just play on top of the Three Musketeers to tank for a little bit, and then the Skeletons will clean it up if they don't have a Zap or a Log.
Okay, that's true. Okay, cool, man. Well, how about any like common mistakes, anything else, maybe some fundamentals to Three Musketeers in general that you think that we should go over before we let you go? Anything else?
I mean, I would say, you just gotta make sure you try to like protect your pumps, get an elixir advantage, and I don't know. I'm not great at this.
You're great at it, man. So, yeah, dude, I think that the tips in the decks are really, really interesting. So I think people are going to have a lot of success with them. And I'm watching this last replay right now against, I don't know how to say his name, Mastus or something like that. But you can see the power of this deck, even against the Mega Knight Hog deck, which you would think would be really difficult to go against. So wishing everybody out there good luck, and just wanted to thank you again, Carter, for coming on, man. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me again. It's always fun.
No problem. And any shout outs, anything like that before we let you go? Anything that we need to be aware of in the Carter world?
Yeah, I mean, shout out to my Twitter, of course, at Carter_CR_, and shout out to my team, #gaming. Um, we're a little bit newer, so we're definitely learning things as we go, but definitely have some good management and chatting, and then some other great guys, and yeah, I think we're gonna be a force to be reckoned with.
Awesome, man. Well, shout out to #gaming and chatting and all those guys. And just thanks again for coming on, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man, always a pleasure.
Alrighty, guys, that was Carter. Good luck with those decks. Huge shout out to my sponsor of the day on YouTube. It's Manny Chavez. Manny, thank you so much for supporting the channel. And of course, huge shout out to my YouTube partner, Bren Chong, who has a new game out, by the way. If you want to check that out, you can find it in the link below in the description. In the link in the description below. There we go. Okay, Ash, you can get this, man. You can get this. Stick with it. Guys, thanks so much for watching. As always, take care, guys.